My name is Tony Mecham, and I proudly serve as the San Diego County and CalFire Chief. Over the last 10 years, San Diego County has made tremendous improvements to the delivery of fire and emergency medical services in unincorporated areas. One of the projects that we're beginning now to improve our services is a rewrite of our multiple patient or mass casualty incident plan. An MCI is defined as any incident that overwhelms the ability of the first responders. We typically define that as 5 or more treatable or transportable patients. MCIs are one of the hardest incidents for the fire department to manage. We have a goal of trying to get all injured people into the hands of a trauma surgeon with 1 hour. When our firefighters arrive at a van rollover or a bus crash on the side of the freeway and we have 8 to 10, 12 patients, the ability for us to manage that incident quickly and efficiently and get those patients taken to the hospital really has an outcome on our ability at the trauma center to save people on the end. We are currently going through a comprehensive review of our MCI plan. We're going to divide this into really 3 components. Creation of standard operating guidelines, standardizing the equipment we use countywide, and the third component is how we train our first responders. All 3 of those elements are interchangeable and critically important. One of the first things we need to do when we arrive at a multiple patient or mass casualty incident is evaluate the conditions of the patients and immediately start sorting them into different categories. The most critically injured patients we identify as immediate, and our goal is to get those patients transported first. Then we have delayed, minor, and unfortunately, oftentimes deceased patients. Typically, when we arrive at an MCI, we're arriving with a fire engine with 2 or 3 people on it. We may have anywhere from 5 to 50 patients. So we very quickly need to go through and evaluate those patients and try and sort them to get them to the appropriate hospital. The equipment that we're seeking is going to give us the ability to do that job much more efficiently. The first component of the equipment we're seeking is what we refer to as a ribbon kit. These are small ribbons that we can tear off by color code, which allow us to sort those patients into the different categories. That way, with just a visual glance, we can look out on our incident and see who's the most critically injured and who we need to start packaging and getting moving towards the hospital first. The second part of the system we're seeking is a series of panels for our safety vests, which identify the positions that we're occupying. For example, we have somebody that's dedicated, one person, to talking to the hospital to coordinate all of the transportation. We may be transporting people to 5 or 6 hospitals, but we have one person coordinating that. The panels go on the back of our vests and allow us to identify those positions. So again, with a quick visual look in a very chaotic scene, we can identify those personnel. The third part of our system is a series of checklists and forms for the various positions. It's a quick reminder. These are not incidents that we get every single day. It's a quick reminder for our personnel of their important tasks and duties, and also all the forms to treat patients. Because not only is it important for us to be able to get the patients off scene very quickly, but we want to be able to tell those family members where they've gone. And I want you to think for just a minute about an incident involving a school bus where we have 30 or 40 injured children. Can you imagine the parents showing up or calling and in a panic wanting to know where their kids? We want to very quickly be able to say this person was transported to this hospital and really work to unify the families back with their injured. And the last part of the equipment we're asking for is really for a much larger incident. This is a command kit that would be carried in our battalion chief's vehicle that would allow us to manage a very large incident. We've already written our standard operating guidelines. We've already begun training on this. And while we have some equipment, we're in need of acquiring the remainder of the equipment. And in my nearly 30 years in the fire service, I can tell you from my own personal experience that arriving first at a multiple patient incident is by far the most challenging and most pressure-filled incident. When you pull up on the freeway and you have 6 or 8 critically injured people, it is not time to not have a plan or not have the best equipment. So we will look forward to working you as we work to improve our ability to respond to mass casualty incidents in San Diego County. Thank you.